What's going on, everybody? It's your friend Will. It's the Memory Lapse, and we're back. And unfortunately, our metagame crusher mode has come and gone. We recorded as much as we could with it, and had some nice runs. I know one of them is still going, so I'm not going to spoil where that one ends. I hope you're enjoying it. That black-green deck was pretty good. But we've been playing a lot of black-green, and we've got a lot of new decks to look at. If you watched the StarCity games over the weekend, there was 2 green-white tokens decks in the finals, a bunch of red decks, also in the top 8, or maybe that was even the top 4. I think it was a top 8 team tournament. There was a Sultai control deck that went pretty deep. I think they got 9th or 10th. This Esper control deck that made top 8. So we have a couple of these new decks that we could explore. We've got the green-white tokens deck, and we have the red-white Angels deck, which didn't make the top lists from StarCityGames, but has been doing really well on Magic Online. We got another big deck dump list, 51 decks that all went 5-0 in leagues. And Gabe Nassif, if you're a fan of his stream, he's been working on Menagerie decks and has a very different take from what we were playing before, which is I'm not sure which one of these was the old Menagerie. Actually, I think I might have just overwritten the old one. I'll show you real quick. We're not going to play it today because it's just been a green-black bonanza, but you can see he's playing none of the the 1-drop that mills yourself and none of the 2-drop that mills yourself, instead just relying on almost the full suite of explore creatures here and just controlling the board and trading to fill his graveyard. And then you have Midnight Reaper, which is overperforming incredibly, 3 finality. Gruesome Menagerie, which is a little bit underpowered. I could see going to 3, and I know something he's discussed as well, because your only 1-drop is Llanowar Elves, so you're really only getting 2s and 3s back with it, but the ones you're getting back are really powerful, and a bit of a higher top end. So this deck has been good. I played with it a little on the side, not in any events, but that being said, we're going to pick our deck for this morning, and we're going to re-roll this black-green quest, because some blue and black spells. So both of the control decks that I have here are basically blue-black base control. The Esper control is blue-black, splashing white pretty much just for Teferi and Chromium. And oh, I think I got my... Yes, okay, perfect. So we could play this, or we could play the Sultai control, which again is just a blue-black deck, splashing green only for Vraska. So blue-black seems to be the control shell we have right now, the core of it. Decks are gravitating towards this for things like Vraska's Contempt and Ritual of Soot, and just because of the way the lands are working out. So, let's play the Esper deck. I think that's more in line with the direction we want to go. So let's just jump into competitive play. Let's get some more Teferi action on the channel. I really hope they bring back those competitive metagame challenges, because after playing those, looking at the constructed events that are just available, it's just like, I don't know. You can you can play 5 rounds to win just 1,000 gold and a couple individual card rewards. Really pales in comparison. Of course, you're allowed to give losses in those, so it's a bit easier to go all the way. We'll probably still play them just for the sake of having a little something on the line. But the appeal of winning 20 or 30 packs is just like, whoa. Alright, so we're on the draw. We have Syncopate, cast down, Ritual of Soot. So I feel like this hand's pretty well keepable. I kind of like this base deck more than the blue, black, splash, green that we saw, because this has main deck Ritual of Soot. I like these get out of jail free cards, especially against a deck like green, white. opponent must have quite the decision to make for turn 2 here. Come on. Oh, I guess they must have disconnected. Oh, here they are. Alright, so we'll play the Swamps. We have Syncopate up for their turn 3. Depending on their build, they may or may not have main deck Lyra or Shalai as legends that cast down can't hit. They may also have the new Tristani. Yeah, so since cast down can't hit this, you definitely just want to Syncopate it. Also, Ritual of Soot doesn't hit it. I think we're happy to keep taking hits from Thorn Lieutenant here. Sapling Migration is okay. Venerated Loxodon is also okay. So just grow their team here. But we'll cast it down end of turn. Well, close enough to end of turn. I think the question is whether or not we Ritual here. And I think we do. Ritual here sets us up for a Teferi plus removal spell next turn. I also want to get the creatures off the board so that their X spell doesn't create as many tokens. Although I guess creating them in response to the Ritual Set's not very good because they still get swept up. Okay, so I think we're just going to Teferi plus here. And if they go to pump it, okay, they don't. So, fairly easy. Ritual Soot swept it away. Oh, looks like they just scooped the whole thing up. Oh, or it bugged. No, it didn't bug. I guess we don't get credit for a second win if they scoop it up like that. So let's run it back. Our opponent did not want to play against a deck that actually had ways to destroy their stuff. Who would have thought? These early morning queue times. On the draw. This is like so tempting to keep on the draw. Because this deck just always wants lands. Nice. It looks like we're not going to get punished for it. In fact, we're even max rewarded with this search for Azcanta. gladly take that Syncopate. Get our second blue source into play. They're shocking here. Maybe they're going to play the Drake. Oh no. Maybe they're just looking to play something at the end of our turn. Since we can only play one of the two counter spells, I'm just going to take this opportunity to get Glacial Fortress untapped. And we'll allow them to Chemister's Insight. Just the one thing we're worried about is whether or not they're like the big counterburn deck. Oh no, it looks like they're the Jeskai deck. So I don't think we have to worry about things like Banefire. We do have to worry about their X spell eventually. And we need to consider that for counter wars. So the Syncopate's just going to get worse over time. Maybe I even just should have used Cast Down, but if I Syncopate here, at least they don't get to draw off it. And they'll have more for us to cast down later. Usually the builds I've seen now run 4 of that card. Let's just shock this so we can have bigger Syncopate and Sinister Sabotage up. So they're getting ahead on cards, but our card selection's been good, and we know that their deck has a lot of dead stuff like Shivan Fires, and I'm not too worried that we're falling behind here. This I'm going to let resolve so I can use the cast down on it. And they're going to get a card. That's annoying. But probably the best use of cast down I'm going to get here. And they can't afford to fight over it because they know that we're more likely than not a Teferi deck. Speaking of... If I really wanted to be bold, I could try to jam Teferi here and have Syncopate for their likely 3-mana counterspell. I think I want to do that. They're going to get to resolve something on their turn. But it gets us close to the Flipping Search. I want the card. We get to untap. Yeah. So they have to minus our Teferi. It's not the end of the world. Do want to transform. Get rid of their Teferi so they can't draw off it. Great. So we'll attempt to counter it. Wow. I guess they just figured we only had 2 cards in hand, so they wanted to go for it. I wonder if they keep the Drakes in and stuff. No, we definitely don't want the Moment of Craving, and we don't want the Ritual of Soot. But everything else I think we like here. We like Negates. We like Duress. We like Vraska's Contempt. I think we like Eldest Reborn. So what else can we take out? Probably like one Essence Scatter, one Cast Down. I do want to be able to catch a Drake. Oh, Disdainful Stroke seems good too. Maybe better than Essence Scatter since it hits both things. A lot of cards I want to bring in here. Maybe I don't want the... Yeah, I'm just going to cut another Cast Down. We just want interaction, like on the stack interaction. Disdainful Stroke gets their X spells too. Alright, if we hit lands, this is really good. This is exactly where we want to be, like, just end of turn, insights. Probably sandbag this Duress until we want to use it on a turn to resolve something. Alright, deck, be kind. Oh, deck. Maybe I should discard a Chemister's Insight. Because now that we're like full hand, it's going to be hard for us to keep going and not overdraw. Yeah, so we're going to discard these Insights here. Okay, here we go. 2, 4, 6, 7. So I think we can't use the Insight here. So if they go for Negate back, we have Syncopate. Actually, removing the Negate from their graveyard is better than removing the Teferi because they have the Drake that counts instants and sorceries. Oh. So even though we missed land drops, we were able to win that counter war there. Right, another Teferi. I guess we'll attempt to negate it. I assume they have another negate here. Alright, so that one we can't do anything about. We'll have to... We're going to have to burn this Duress answering their Teferi here. Oh, okay, in order to do that we have to get another black source at the end of their turn. Ionize, Disdainful Stroke, Chemister's Insight. Guess we'll get rid of the Ionize. Oh no, shoot. I totally was thinking about the search. Yeah, that was so bad. I just should have gotten rid of the Disdainful Stroke. Now we have to fade this turn. them to have no interaction here. That sucks. Did not mean to just throw that one away. Alright, looks like they don't have interaction at least. Oh no, they could still because they get to untap. Huh. They counter this, I think we just scoop. Yeah, except that we made the mistake. That's too bad. If we had been able to remove that, they would have drawn one less card. They would have been able to untap. So they would have had to commit to that Drake, and we could have removed it for sure. So that was my bad. It's one of those classic disconnects where you know exactly what you're going to do. Okay, I'm going to Duress so that they can't disrupt this Vraska's Contempt, and then you take the one thing that doesn't matter. This hand's a little soft. We need to draw some interaction. Also, it's maybe not good to keep a hand like this because we see that our opponent's pretty impatient too. They're really like itching to pull the trigger on just trying to jam stuff. Well, maybe they just took advantage of us last game because we were down lands. Well, at least we can win the Teferi War. I wonder if it's worth it to jam here. If they counter... Alright, I'm going to try this only because I have 3 Teferis. I assume this will get countered and that they're going to untap and play their own. Yep. They would need to have any of their good 2-drop counters to be able to prevent me from them Teferring and minus back. Are they stuck? Looks like they kept a Sinister Sabotage, right? Oh no, they pushed. They pushed the land. So they must have a land drop here. Yep. Shock Rao. Okay. They get their card off Rao. I wonder if they kept in Lightning Strikes or anything to interact with Teferi. We'll tuck away Rao. See if Teferi lives. They could also use their X spell here. X is 2. If they have another land drop. To clear Teferi. Don't know if this is the best line of play, but considering we pretty much only drew land and then a Chemister's Insight. It's the line I decided to go with as like highest chance of us being able to win here. Alright, so I'm going to do this one main phase. I should have drawn first. But because I want to be able to untap and play it again. Yeah, maximum punished. Does it tap me down the wrong way? Now we have to just let these Teferis and I can't let this thing hit me. Yeah, imagine drawing first there, and I would have still had the mana for the second Vraska's Contempt. Wow, 2 big sequencing mistakes in this set. At least Ral can't hit me. Though they are closer to ulting. Alright, Lightning Strike. Cool. Another Teferi. Alright, let's just see what they have here. Ionize, Invoke. Insight. So we'll take the Ionize away. Maybe we'll finally get a few turns to reload here. Please. Okay. Have the Raw back. One short of casting it. Alright. So let's take some cards here. We need to untap. Alright, straight land. This looks scary to them, though. We have 4 cards, we have a bunch of untapped mana. They might not just jam Rao here. I'd be a little concerned, I think, about losing a counter war here and the instant Teferi in play. Crackling Drake. Resolves. If they go for Ral, we're going to flash back the Chemister inside and hope we hit a counter spell for it. So alright, we're going to jumpstart the Chemister's Insight. Alright, let's just jumpstart that here then. This might be worth negating. They're thinking of countering this. Interesting. Okay. It's worth for them. Disdainful Stroke. Alright, well this Teferi's toast anyways. Keep this one. Minus the Drake. I imagine they'll go to flip it here, in which case we'll immediately Field of Ruin it and make them use up mana on their turn. Alright, well they can't pick the Drake up with that. So they get themselves a Teferi. Everything else goes away. Whatever they try to play, I think we counter, unless they have exactly a counter right here. And then we just hope we actually hit well with Teferi next turn. That pocket of land was at a really inopportune time and it punished us because we made that huge mistake with our sequencing. We basically are down, I think, 2 cards because of that. Alright. Nice. Huge. Need to do this. Come on. Action spell. Alright, I'll count that. They don't have their own Field of Ruin. Oh, but they have this. Okay. Yeah, they have to use it eventually, I guess. Alright, so if they brick off here, worst case scenario, they're resolving Ral. They're drawing, and then we just need to try to hit gas again. Alright, so we're down 2 Rascals and Temps. This is our last Teferi. Excellent binding. Alright, well, it's our last Teferi anyways. It's gonna die to the Cackling Drake. And a little rough. Our mistake really cost us, and the sequencing of our draws was maybe not the best, but I think it was nothing that we couldn't overcome if we had just played correctly that one turn. We would have stuck at Teferi and played for far longer. Yeah, we've just misplayed our Duress really badly. We finally got rid of that Row, but we're getting clocked here. And they're going to flip this Search, though. We'll get to at least take it out again. That's too bad. Well played by our opponent. This loss is on us. We're going to hit land here. Yeah, GG. That's too bad. I think we could have won. I don't think we could have won the... Or no, I forget. We majorly punted in the second game, too. So the 2 losses we had a really, really big punts. And both of them involved misplaying our Duresses. So definitely something to practice more. And just also like try to play on point and not be tired. But yeah, that was the Esper deck. I think it's good. I think probably that matchup is pretty good for us, considering we got to bring in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We get to bring in like 10 cards. And you could debate maybe we should have brought in the Invokes. I think the Eldest Reborns were right, and if we had seen them, that they would have been amazing in that situation. But definitely still have to play heads up and not make sequencing mistakes that you're going to get pummeled for in the comments. But still, hope you enjoyed seeing another Teferi deck. I like this personally more than the red build. Just I think the black removal is better. I like Ritual of Soot. I like Vraska's Contempt. A lot of these cards just feel better against the format. I don't think the red base deck has enough ways to beat the green-white tokens deck, and also doesn't have any life gain, so it's a lot harder to sustain yourself against the aggro decks, the Boros decks, the red deck wins of the world. So, you know, if you're a control player and you're looking to craft into something, I think this is a good place to start, and you'll have a lot of core cards moving forward. All that being said, that's it for this one, and we'll be back tomorrow with another new deck.